So today's topic will be an introductory to Mule, how it makes API development easy. Before that, I wanted to introduce myself, but she has already introduced me. Again, I'll say a few lines about myself. So I work as a full stack developer at IBM India. I joined IBM in the year 2019 as a graduate hire. I did my bachelor's in computer science and engineering from CET Bhubaneswar, India. The technologies I work in are Java, Angular JS, Git, and Jenkins. Apart from that, I also know Angular and MuleSoft. A little bit of MuleSoft, not so experienced. And at IBM, I also mentored few engineering students as a part of a skill build innovation camp that was organized by IBM CSR team. And my passion lies in technology and social entrepreneurship. So today's agenda is a brief about API, introductory to Mule, a walk through AnyPoint Platform, how business benefits from Mule, followed by a quick demo. So let me start from very basic API. I think we all know what is API. API is Application Programming Interface. I'll just say a simple example. So we all use Facebook app, right? So what we see there or what we use, that is the user interface. Similarly, API is also an interface, but its users are not humans. So the output of API is used by some application or some different software component, right? So let's discuss more. It is a set of functions or a software intermediary which allows two applications or software components to communicate with each other. So let's take example of Uber app. So when we book cab, we set a location in Uber app using Google Map, right? So at that time, what happens? Uber app calls the API of Google Map to set the location. So that API is acting as the intermediate between Uber app and Google Map, right? They exchange some data between each other, or they may perform some business logic. So it is said it is a software intermediary which allows two applications to communicate with each other. Okay, I'll give another example. Suppose you have one application. So your front end is connected to the back end and back end is connected to the database. All right. So when front end will send request to the back end will process it and it will fetch some data from the database and it will send response to the front end. In that case, your back end is also API. It works as a API. Okay. So as developers, either we develop API, our own API to perform our business logic or operations, or we consume data from some external API. Okay. So when we talk about API development, why Mule comes into picture? So what is Mule? Why it is needed? I'll discuss that in the next slide. So what is Mule? Okay, before that, I want to tell you one thing. So in my presentation, whatever API I will discuss only about REST API. Usually, REST APIs are considered to be modern APIs. There are other APIs available like SOAP or GraphQL. They're also very famous. But in major cases, REST API is being used. So I'll be talking about REST API only in my presentation. Okay. So let's start with Mule. So Mule is an open source technology. It has been developed by the software company called MuleSoft. Okay, so Mule is a data integration platform built to connect different applications, software components, and data sources. So for this, I will give one example. Think of application. You have the backend. So now the backend of your application has to fetch some data from an external REST API. It also has to fetch some data from an external or SOAP API. And it is also connected to SAP. It is also connected to MySQL database. It is also connected to Salesforce. So now imagine how big and how distributed your application will be. So how you will develop such large applications, how you will integrate different components, how you will manage it, how you will deploy it. For that, Mule is the platform. So it is a data integration platform where you can connect different applications or different software components or different data sources. Also, it provides AnyPoint Platform, Studio Graphical Interface, Data Flow, and API Designer kits to build API, create integrations. So, along with data integration, you can also design your own API using Mule. For that, it provides AnyPoint Platform, Studio Graphical Interface, and API Designer kits. So, what is AnyPoint Platform? AnyPoint Platform is a web-based application which has been developed by MuleSoft. So it is a web application. There you can design your APIs, you can publish your API, you can deploy your API, and you can also edit and manage your API. And it also provides Studio Graphical Interface. So Studio Graphical Interface is basically one IDE of MuleSoft, which is called AnyPoint Studio. So IDE, basically, I think those who have worked in Java, they might have used Eclipse or STS. So it's similar to that, or you can say Visual Studio Code. So there you can design your APIs and similar tasks that you perform in AnyPoint platform, you can perform that using IDE. But for large applications, when you have a more business logic, right, in that case, instead of using AnyPoint platform, you can use the AnyPoint Studio, that is the Studio Graphical User Interface. And it provides designer kits to build API. So I'll be talking in the next slide, and I'll also show that in demo how you design API using Mule. Let's talk about benefits. First is drag and drop feature to develop REST API faster. So I'm a Java full stack developer. If I'm asked to develop one API, in Java I will use Spring MVC architecture to develop one REST API. For that, I know I have to write many lines of code to implement all those HTTP methods like get, post, put, delete, to implement all those methods to develop a whole functional API. But in MuleSoft, you don't need to write so many lines of code. Just using the drag and drop feature, you can design one API very easily and within very short period of time. For that, actually, both in AnyPoint platform and in their IDE, they provide some graphics or design kits. Those you just need to drag and drop to design your API spec or to model your API. And yeah, it's not like you don't need to write any single line of code. No, for business logic to implement that, you have to write your own code. But just for designing or modeling perspective, or to design a simple API, you don't need to write so many lines of code. It will be done by just drag and drop feature. I'll show that in demo at the end. Next is connectors to integrate data from database, create asynchronous message chain. So as I said, MuleSoft is a data integration platform. You can integrate many external applications or many external software components to your own application. So to do that, MuleSoft provides you some connectors. Those are inbuilt connectors that are there in Mule. You can just use them, reuse them, or implement them. So many connectors are there. For example, you have connector for Salesforce, for Google Cloud, for SOAP web service, and you can also implement message queuing in Mule using the connector called AnyPoint MQ. So many stuffs are there. I'll show that in AnyPoint Studio. Next is data transform and data mapping. Transform and data mapping. Okay, for that, I'll give one example. Suppose I have developed one REST API. Okay, now now I need to fetch some data from an external SOAP API. So as you know, I don't know if all of you know that or not. So REST API works in JSON format, okay, and SOAP API works in XML format. So when I need to fetch some data from REST API, by REST API from SOAP API, I need to send a request from REST API to SOAP API. Okay, so in REST API, I will have the data in JSON format. So that I need to transform to XML format. Then only I can send my request to the SOAP web service. And what SOAP will give back in response, that it will give in XML format. That also I need to transform to JSON format so that I can use it in my REST API. So that is called data mapping and transformation. So that also you can do easily using Mule just by drag and drop feature. And next is deploy applications in cloud or on-premise. So after designing or developing your applications, you can deploy the applications in any cloud environment you want using a MuleSoft platform. Yeah, so it provides end-to-end API lifecycle management. Let's go to the next slide. AnyPoint Platform. Yeah, let's talk about AnyPoint Platform more. So, as I said, AnyPoint Platform is the web application of MuleSoft. There you can design your API and you can manage your API. And this is how the homepage of AnyPoint Platform looks. You have design center to design your APIs, and then management center to deploy your API, to to add some features, some settings to your API, or to to visualize how your API is performing, all those stuffs. So let's talk about design center. Here you can see one image. Here you can see I have developed a couple of APIs for my own practice. So this is how my design center look like. So what you can do in design center, you can create API specifications in RESTful API modeling language. I know there are some new terms in this statement. One is API specifications, another one is RESTful API modeling language called Ramel. I'll discuss about this in the next slide. Then you can publish it into AnyPoint Exchange. So after developing your API, you can publish it to AnyPoint Exchange. AnyPoint Exchange is another tool in AnyPoint platform. I'll discuss about AnyPoint Exchange. And after publishing, you can edit your API. You can change the name of your API, or maybe the data source you are using in your API, or you can change the settings in your API. So all this, I mean, first the visualization is very easy, and the way we design the things or the way we manage the things is very easy in MuleSoft, and that is totally different, which you will not find. I mean, that is not it. Any other tool is not yet available in market so far, I guess. So yeah, the next slide, Ramel. Okay. So Ramel is RESTful API modeling language. If you want to develop develop or design any API in MuleSoft, then you have to use Ramel language, and it is only for REST APIs. Okay. So what is Ramel about? It provides a structured and clear format to model an API spec and document it. So see, Ramel is just like a normal text document. If you know YAML, it is derived from YAML. It is a normal text document which your backend platform just compiles, and the way we write JSON, the way we write data in JSON format or XML format. So it is just a format, and it has a different structure the way we write the code here. Okay, and here is the example of Ramel code. I just got this random image from Google. So see, this is a structured code or structured document. From this, you can say many things about the API. So as it is mentioned, it is a structured and clear format to model an API spec and document it. So what is API spec? API spec means the design elements in your API. So what are the resources you are using in the API? How it is designed, that is called API spec. Okay, so from this simple structure, you can say about the design elements in the API. You can say many things about the API. Let's say any layman can say, see, the title. So the title of the API is SEME Medical API, okay, and base URL. So this is the URL you have to use to access the API. Then patient. So this is the resource or mapping, you can say. So you have to use this part of the API to access this particular data. And if you want to use get method in this particular resource of the API, then you have to pass this query parameters. So it's very easy to understand how the API is designed, how what resources are present in API. So Ramel provides that feature, and it is a trademark of MuleSoft. Actually, now, Ramel has been developed by Mule along with some other software companies. And if you want to design any API in Mule, so Ramel is the language. That's why it is a trademark of MuleSoft. And yeah, so when we'll go to AnyPoint platform or AnyPoint Studio, uh, what I said, you can design API using drag and drop feature, right? So there actually you don't need to write the Ramel code. Once you do drag and drop, internally it creates the Ramel code. Yeah, apart from that, if you need to add some more logic to it, then you can edit your Ramel code. Otherwise, Mule internally creates the Ramel code. AnyPoint Exchange. So AnyPoint Exchange, here you can see the picture. These are two APIs that I developed on my own and I published it. So once you design the API in AnyPoint platform and you publish it, so they come under the assets section of AnyPoint platform, and that you can see in AnyPoint Exchange. Apart from that, AnyPoint Exchange is something more. So it is a marketplace for connectors, templates, and examples. So I said AnyPoint Mule provides inbuilt connectors, so that you can use them to connect different applications in your own application. So those connectors you can find in AnyPoint Exchange, and it has inbuilt many inbuilt resources or templates or examples that you can use or reuse to develop your own application. And this I'm talking about AnyPoint platform, that is the web application. These connectors you can also find in the IDE, that is AnyPoint Studio. I will show that in demo. And as I said, you can reuse the Mule assets. You can reuse these connectors, templates, and examples of API given by MuleSoft. Yeah. Then how it helps business. So this is a very important question. So first is reduced development time and faster delivery. As I said, if you use Mule, you need to write less lines of code. Uh, so automatically your delivery will be faster, right? Your development time will be reduced. So in present time, in market, many excellent developers are available, right? And almost every kind of resources are available to all. So what makes industry stand out? That is the delivery, right? So if the delivery is faster, obviously they will stand out. So if they use MuleSoft, they can reduce the development time and make their delivery faster. Then second is reusability of resources. So yeah, as I said, MuleSoft already provides some inbuilt resources or inbuilt connectors that one can use in their own application. They can add that in their application or edit that or remove that. So they can reuse all those resources. It's not like they have to create new resources. Many inbuilt features are provided in Mule, so that can cover many requirements of the industries. So end-to-end API lifecycle management. So as I said, you can from development to deployment, everything you can manage using MuleSoft. So yes, it provides end-to-end API lifecycle management. Then security, that is the most important feature. So after you develop one API in Mule, you can add some security features. First one is you can add some service level agreements to your API. That is, you can add some proxies to it, and other agreements are there. Actually, some you have to pay, some are free. So based on your requirement, you can add those agreements to your API. Second, you can make it public, you can make it private. You can add authentication key to your API. So anyone having the ID and password, only those can access your API. And then with all these features, so obviously our customers will be happy, right? So then happy customers. Okay, so now it's demo time. I'll give the demo. Okay, before that, I would like to share one more thing. So, actually, we three people from IBM are speaking in this conference. So, we are speaking as federated advocate. So, as we are connecting to some external community outside of IBM, we would like to share about IBM Cloud. So, that is the product developed by IBM. Here is the link. You can just sign up and explore the features provided by IBM Cloud. At the end of the talk, I will paste this link in the chat section so that everyone can use it. So now I'll start the demo. After that, we can take up some questions. Okay. So this is the home page of AnyPoint Platform. Here, showed you before. Here you can design and manage your application. Now we will design a new API. So we will, yeah. And first you need to create one account in MuleSoft. That is for free. Some features are free, so you can use them. No problem. So now we'll start designing. So click on Start Designing. Here you can see I have already created few things. Now I will click Create New API spec. I'll give the title WWCode demo. Here you can see there are two options. One language and other one using Ramel and OAS. So both you can use, but I'll go with the second one, Ramel and OAS, because here it provides some extra features, and the way you can visualize the things is better here. So I'll go with the second option, that is Ramel and OAS. So these are actually standards to define your API, or to define the design elements of your API, or to model your API. Okay, so this is created. First, what I'll do, I'll change the title of this. I will write users, say users. Okay. Now what I'll do, so when you use some API, for what you use API? For some data or to perform some business logic, right? So here we will create API with some dummy data, and we will perform get and post methods in it. Okay. So for dummy data, actually here you can add your data source, on what data you have to perform those operations of get and post. Okay, so here you can add the data, add data type, change the name to user, user data. See, data basically it depends on the requirement. Okay. And you can fetch the data from multiple source, but here what I'll do, I will use some dummy data. That dummy data I got from that I got while doing training in AnyPoint platform. So Mule provides one free training, the fundamentals of MuleSoft, so that you can do. I'll paste the link also. So from there, actually, I got the data. I'll use that only. So this is the data. Here I will add the data in body. I'm see what I'm doing. I mean, it's just like child's play, but in the back end, the code is being written automatically, the Ramel code, and from this, and these are the design elements or API spec you can say, and from this you can understand what this API is about. What is the data source in this? All right. So yeah, I have added the data, and the type is object. Okay. Now I'll add the resource. This is the resource which external users will access from API. I will give a random name. Let's say first I'll implement the get method. Response, add new response. So once your API is successful, return successful response, it will give you the status 200 OK. There are many other codes also, but for successful, we use 200 OK. And add body. Here the object is, see, get method, why get method is used when user wants to get some information from the API. At that time, we use get method. Okay, so here we want to fetch some information from this API. We will fetch this user information we added. Okay, our object is the user data. Okay, user data we added here. This is the user data. So when we'll fetch this from, when we'll send request to the API with get method, it will give you this user data. Okay, then let's implement post method. Add new. So 200 OK I already used for get method. It's not like I cannot use, I can use, but for post method basically, see why we use post method. When user wants to send some information to API, at that time we use post method. So here what we'll do, we will post this user data to the API. Okay. So we will use 201 created. It means we have posted the data. The data is created. Add body. The object will be same user data. Okay. So now the implementation is done with the API. Okay. You don't need to publish it now. You just need to change it in the settings, make public. Now it is private. Now it is in development mode. Only you can access it. To test it, you have to make it public so that it will give you the URL or the endpoint. So this is the endpoint of the API. Just copy it. So I have this tool called ARC, Advanced REST Client. Here you can test your API. You might be knowing about Postman. That is very famous tool to test your APIs. But here I'm using Advanced REST Client. So I'll paste that URL. But see, if I hit this URL, it will give me 404.1 because it is not able to identify what resource we need to access. We're trying to access from this API. Okay. See what we have given the resource name www user info. This is the part which we need to access. This is the part of the API where our data is present. So we have to add that in our request. Okay. Now we'll send. Sorry, I pasted it in the wrong place. Copy it. So here I will add that resource www user info. So now it gave me 200. Okay. And now you see the data I had pasted there, I can fetch it from the get request of the API. All right. And also do post 201 created. It means my data is posted and this data is posted to the API. Okay. So this is very fundamental and basic in demo. You can learn about MuleSoft from fundamentals Mule code. This is free. Anybody can learn. I'll paste this link after this talk. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to show one more thing. So this is AnyPoint Studio. This is the IDE. See, AnyPoint platform is fine there. You can design and deploy your API. But when you have very, very large applications, you have to implement complex business logic. Then AnyPoint Studio is the platform. You don't need to use AnyPoint platform. You have to use AnyPoint Studio. Here, for your business logic, you have to write the code, but for designing perspective, here I have designed few APIs. It's just drag and drop. You can do the same thing. So what we need to do, suppose you have created one API in AnyPoint platform and you want to edit that. And you want to edit that in AnyPoint Studio. So here actually you can just log in with your ID and password of AnyPoint platform, and then you can see that API what you have developed there. You can edit it. And these are the connectors I said. See the connectors for web service consumer, the connectors for modules. You can see there are so many connectors for Salesforce, for Spring, for Workday to implement JMS, that is the messaging Java messaging service. Okay. Here now in the talk I'm not showing the API designing in AnyPoint Studio due to time constraint, but yeah, you can go through that link and do the training and learn about MuleSoft more. So this is the end of my talk. That's all I had. Now we can take up some questions.
Thanks so much for presenting. You did have some questions, although I think that the ones that popped out throughout the presentation, you answered as you went along. You posted those in the chat. Which MuleSoft products can I use for free to explore these topics? Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I will read the chat. I'll read the questions in the chat and I will answer that. Is it fine?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, so the last question is MuleSoft is IBM product? No, it is not IBM product. So MuleSoft is a software company actually, and the product they have developed is Mule. That is one open source technology, and it has been developed by MuleSoft, not IBM. So many industries are using it. IBM is also using MuleSoft in its applications. In my project only, they're using MuleSoft. So from that, I got to know about MuleSoft and I started learning. How front-end application can connect to APIs developed by MuleSoft. So yeah, front-end application, let's say your front-end application is developed in Angular, that is fine. So the front-end must be connected to some backend, right? So your backend will be connected to MuleSoft. Your backend will use some service so that you can connect to MuleSoft. And let me tell you, MuleSoft is only for Java-based applications mostly. If your backend is developed in Java or .NET, yeah, .NET is also fine. Then you can use the MuleSoft service. I am not sure if you can use it in other backend technology like Python or Go or something. Only for Java or .NET. Thank you, Archana, for your compliment. And yes, okay. Which MuleSoft product can I use for free to explore topics mentioned? See, there are many things free. First is Design Center is free. I need to log in. Sorry, I thought I was sharing my screen. Okay, no problem. So I showed you right. Okay, let me share my screen again so that it will be clear. You all can see, right?
We can.
Yeah. See, Design Center is free. Here you can design any API you want and you can publish it to AnyPoint Exchange, okay? But some features are not free, like the security thing I told. This manage public keys for SSL communication. This won't be free. And this runtime manager also. I think section, my that is expired for my account maybe. So some things are not free, things like Design Center where you can design your API and you can publish your API, you can edit your API, and you can deploy it. Yeah, those things are free. It's taking long time to load. I'll paste this link. It will be really helpful if you want to learn Mule. This training is free. See, this trial account has expired. So runtime you cannot manage, like deploying the application you cannot do. I think I was able to do it some time back, but now it's expired. Fine. Next question. Can we use Mule with Node.js? I think no, you cannot use Mule with Node.js. Um, I'm working as backend developer and using OpenSpec APIs for REST APIs. Yeah, OpenSpec is nothing but the design elements in your API. What I did, those are just drag and drop thing. But in the backend, it was creating the API spec. So API spec is nothing but the design elements in your API. I think I covered almost all questions, and I'll share one more thing. So this is the link to IBM Cloud if you want. So you can just sign up and explore the features. IBM.
Really fantastic talk. And I do think that you got all the questions throughout that. So thank you so much for presenting. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us while we talked about MuleSoft. This is our final talk of this session. So we will be back in 12 hours to do it all again. If you're in the US, have a great night. If you're in India, have a great day.
Thanks everyone. Yeah.
Thank you.